If you're watching this, this is the pre-show, and we're waiting for the YouTube stream to come on. Okay, there we go. All right, we finally got the YouTube stream on. So welcome to the preview or the pre-show. I'm your host, Miss Raina, and I'm not dressed up today, obviously, because it has been a long day and I've been exhausted. I'm going to talk a little bit about that I was in the hospital a couple weeks ago, and since then I've been kind of taking it easy and kind of been resting. So I didn't feel like getting dressed up today. I didn't do my hair, I didn't do my makeup, I didn't do this. I'm just wearing an overthrow. Some days you just gotta relax, right? So if you're looking into the archive, if you're watching the archive, if you want to skip over the next 5 minutes, please do so, because we don't start for 4 minutes. If you want to start into the next 4 minutes, well, 5 minutes, because it's about a minute for the intro music. But if you want to skip this preview, because really all we do is sit here and do a little chat. But yeah, I was in the hospital for a little bit, and it was kind of scary. I don't know. I was driving my car, and all of a sudden, I started to sweat profusely and all sorts of stuff, and it was pretty scary. And I'm gonna talk about that on the show in a little bit. But I missed you guys. It's been 2 weeks since we've been really. Since we've seen each other, and I guess I didn't even realize it. I actually forgot to move the show to today, and when I went on the hosting site, all of a sudden it was like it aired already. I was like, "What do you mean it aired already?" And I had like 10 minutes left, and so I had to recreate the show so I can actually do it on today right now for today. And yeah, I guess I changed the YouTube channels, I changed all the social media, everything except for the blog talk site, and and I guess it aired. So I guess people, if anyone tuned in, all they heard was silence for a long time. Hopefully everyone was able to I'm having a hard time speaking today, but hopefully everyone followed my social media and was able to kind of say, oh, okay, well, she's not going to have the show today, so hopefully not too many people listened in on that show, otherwise they would have been very disappointed. But yeah, it's going to be a good show tonight. Why? Because tonight is all about change, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, obviously. But man, change is hard for us, isn't it? It really is. Not for me. I love change. I'm a person. I love change. I love to be able to have new and exciting things come in my life. But for a lot of people, it's not. It's very rough. It's very tough, and that's what we're going to talk about, why it's so tough. But if you're one of those people that hate change, there's absolutely no reason to fear change. Change is wonderful. It's exciting. It's adventurous, and those are the type of things we want in our life, right? But we're going to get into why change is chaotic for some of us. But we got about 1:30 left, and I don't know. We're supposed to do a TV interview this Friday, and I don't know if that's going to happen anymore because of my schedule and some things came up and stuff. And I'm really, really bummed because I might not be able to get a chance to do it. It was on good. Let's try that again. It was on Good Morning Boca. And I'm really hoping it'll work itself out if it was meant to be, but if it's not meant to be, it's not going to work itself out. So as much of an opportunity it was, or it is for me, which I would really like to do it, if it's not in the cards to do it, then I guess it's not going to happen, and no sense in fighting it, right? There's always other opportunities, someplace, shape, or form. Those that believe in you, those that want you, those that want to do stuff with you will find a way to make things come about. Those that don't, then, will pass you by, and that's okay. So we have to make sure that we keep trucking on our mission all the time. We keep our head up, and we always believe in ourselves when others don't. And we have about 30 seconds left. So I don't know. Is the screen a little fuzzy to you guys today? It seems that the quality isn't as good today. It seems very fuzzy. Usually it's sharp and sharp, I guess. but yeah, it's usually there. All right, we got 9 seconds.
Transcendental Transformation, the place where spirituality and transformation unite. Host Miss Raina imparts truth so that you can break through your limiting beliefs and evolve into a deeper consciousness. As you go about your day, remember, before every breakthrough, there is a breakdown. And now, let's start the show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Transcendental Transformation. I'm your host, Miss Raina, and today is Tuesday, March 7th, 2017. As always, we are coming live from the beautiful but very rainy city of West Palm Beach, Florida. That's right, it's rainy today, and it's cold. I thought we were over this cold spell. I was bragging to my mom and my family and friends in other states that are freezing still. I'm like, yeah, it's back up into the 80s. It's no longer in the 70s, it's no cold. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're complaining about 70-something degrees? But it's cold for us Floridians. I mean, I was at one of the football games the other day cheering on my team, and because I'm still on the DL, and it was cold. I had to wear a sweater and everything to just stand out there, and I was like, oh man, I wish I was running around because this would be great rather than it be hot, because the week before it was like 85 degrees, and when it jumps from like 70 to 85, hell, 50 degree or 15 degree change, that's a big change. And but I hope all is well with you guys. Is everything going well? Has your week's been going well? Actually, the past couple of weeks, has it been going well? I know we were supposed to have a show on the 28th, and then last week, but some things came up. If you follow my social media, you know that I was in the hospital. Yeah, I ended up in the hospital 2 Fridays ago, and I gotta say, it really shook me. I'm tough. I don't get scared a lot, but I will say that I actually this kind of got to Miss Raina. I was driving in the car, and all of a sudden I started to profusely sweat, and my heart rate went from 0 to like 1,000,000. I swear it felt like it was coming out of my throat, and then all of a sudden I started having chest pains and shortness of breath. And I'm driving in the car with Nira. We go from my house just to the corner, and then to another corner. And there's 2 lights within the corners, and no more than like 2 blocks at the best. And I gotta tell you, man, it was like, and by the time I got to the main light here, I couldn't see anything. Everything went white. Everything slowed down. Like the cars around me disappeared. Nira disappeared. The car that I was in. All I know is that it was white and there was silence. And then all of a sudden I thought, wow, I was like, is this one of my times to go? And I'm like, if this is one of my times to go, I ain't ready yet. There's no way I'm going out. And I got too much to do in this world. I go, this can't be one of these, but if it is, I'm not ready yet. And I snapped right back into everything, and everything came rushing back. And then just then the light turned green, and I drove to the hospital because there was a car in front of me, and would you believe I was honking the car in front of me and telling him to move and pointing to the hospital. I need to get to the hospital. And he put up his arms like, yeah, what do you want me to do? I'm like, obviously if someone needs to get to the hospital and you're not moving, just scoot up a little bit, let the car pass. But yeah, and they couldn't find anything wrong with me. Everything came back. My heart is 100% healthy. There's no plaque. There's no heart attack. No stroke. No damage. No clots in me. My brain scans, my CT scans came back perfect. There's no tumors, no masses, nothing. Everything, because that's the first thing I asked them to check me for was cancer. And I said, well, check me for tumors in the head, and then check me to see if I had a stroke or heart attack or whatever. And they check my liver enzymes too, and everything came back beautifully. They said, Miss Raina, you are the epitome. Your inside is the epitome of health. And I go, well, I wish I could get my outside to match my inside, because I got a little weight on me right now. But yeah, it was scary. So thank you guys. Thank you for everyone who wrote in. Thank you for everyone who was concerned about me and who took the time to just share a little love and to let me know that you guys were thinking about me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I love you guys and everything. But And if you want to write in, or if you want to call, not write in, you guys write in all the time. If you guys want to call, I'm a little slow today. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're watching the pre-show, I had the big tongue twisters. My dyslexia was kicking in because I don't know. It's one of those days. I'm tired. I was napping for 2 hours, 2.5 hours before we did the show because I'm just exhausted today. So, and I've been like that ever since the hospital. I've been very tired a lot lately. So I'm just letting my body rest. So if I give you a little tongue twister here and there and I say things backwards or I say something I don't mean, hey guys, just forgive me, okay? But if you want to give us a call and ask your questions at 310-861-2341. You can watch us stream live on the YouTube channel. Hi everybody on the YouTube channel at youtube.com at Transcendental Transformation Radio Show. That's all one word. Also, I want to tell you that we are trying, this is some exciting news, that we are trying to create a TV show. I'm trying to hook up with a TV producers from Boca TV. It's a local station here in Southeast Florida, and we're trying to create a spiritual show, kind of like the View style, kind of like where it's me and two or three other co-hosts, and we're kind of sitting around a round table discussing ideas, discussing ways to help people, and then we're going to go out, and so we're looking for people in the Southeast Florida area with mid to lower income that would like help, that just can't afford the help, or maybe they can but it's a little tight and stuff, and would like my personal help for free. But you would have to be on TV. You get one free session with me, and we're going to do some really exciting things on this show, and I'm really, really excited. We're looking for sponsors. If you would like to be a sponsor and be a part of this, be a part of something huge, and this is going to be groundbreaking because there's no shows like this at all. And if you'd like to be a sponsor, please write in, give me a call, do whatever you have to do to get a hold of me, because we would love to have your name, next to kind of changing the world that we're doing. So if you tuned in last show was all about, as I gaze into the reflection of our soul. Well, we answered the big question, who am I, right? Who am I? That's a huge question. I mean, everybody asks that. I know, being a spiritualist, everybody asks constantly the biggest question of who am I? That's what we're here to figure out. Who is Miss Raina? Who are you? What are we here for? What is it that... And why is this question so important? Why does this question mean so much to us in our world and in our life? Because obviously, if we have tens of thousands of lives, that gets to be a crazy answer, right? But what would it bring? And many of us think that if I answer the question, who am I, it would give me all the answers that I'm looking for in my life. Because true, most of us are confused, right? Most of us are scared. Most of us are lost. We live in fear. We don't know why we're here. All we know is we've been dumped here, and we're supposed to do the best we can and make it up as we go with no instructions, no manuals, nothing. and we're told that there is an angry God looking at us, and if we don't do this way and we don't do this way, then we're going to be punished and we're going to go to this place. And all this chaos ensues. And so the question of who am I would answer so many things about our life. And it would also give us security. Security is huge, and we're going to talk about why security is huge in tonight's show, because it ties into each other so well that you're going to be surprised. But answering who I am, I'm secure. I know who I am. I know what's going on. I have the confidence now, and it would give me purpose, right? If I know who I am and I know what my mission is and I know everything I need to know, then there's no more questions asked. There's no more fooling myself. There's no more there's no more time to contemplate. There's nothing to scare me anymore. And so these are the type of things that we believe that the answers of who am I would ask us. But what if it can't be answered? What if asking ourselves, who am I, it can't be answered? I mean, because we're always evolving, right? We talked about that. We're always evolving. We're always changing. But what was the question I asked you guys to answer, or to ask yourselves now? A better question than who am I would be, who am I right now? As the character that I am, in this very moment, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but in this very moment, who am I right now? And that will bring you closer to the answers that you're seeking than who am I as a whole. If you missed that show, it's in the archives. You know where it's at. Go check it out, and on the YouTube channel. Well, let's get into tonight's show, because as every season turns, there's a time for change. And do you find it difficult and sometimes chaotic when life brings about change? Do you find yourself obsessing over old ideas and relationships or experiences that you used to have? If you notice that this week there was absolutely no weekly question at all, and the reason why for that was because I decided that I was going to turn this show, I was going to turn all those questions into a show, because to be honest with you, many write into me weekly, every single weekly, saying that, Miss Raina, that change is difficult for me. How do I overcome change? What is it with change? I struggle with change. I'm fearful of change, and I don't accept change. I have a hard time accepting change for what it is and who it is, and whatever is brought into my life, or whatever's taken out of my life. And that's really more so what we're focusing on, right? We're focusing on what we're losing, what's coming out of our life. And it's the number one question that everyone asks me all the time. So what is it about change that makes it so difficult? Because change is a part of life, right? We age. We change friends, we change relationships, we change jobs, we go, some of us go through jobs constantly, right? But we change out schools. Hey, you start in preschool, you go to kindergarten, then you go to grade school, then middle school, then high school and college, if you're one of those that get good grades and you go to college. But you're always changing things, and our life is always changing. So why do we reject change so much? I mean, obviously, we're not the same today as we were when we were younger, are we? So there's change right there. What is it about change that makes it so difficult? Because for many of us, the thought of change takes our breath away. It really does. I have friends that I told them, I was like, they asked me, Miss Raina, what's your next show going to be on? Because I'd like to listen in. And I said, well, it's going to be on change. And their eyes got big, and and they're like, a change? Oh, and they just cringed, and they were like, oh, I can't stand change. And I looked at him, I'm like, why? Why can you not stand change? What is so bad about that? And all they ever say is, I just don't like change. So what does change do for us? Change brings us new beginnings. That's a great thing, isn't it? If the one thing that we're focused on is new beginnings, change brings about new doors, new opportunities that comes in, new ideas, new experiences, and new lessons. The way I look at it, that's a great thing, right? I mean, hey, I get new relationships, whether they're friends, whether they're romantic, new ideas, new thought processes that come in, new experiences, new lessons, new things. And most importantly, all that stuff allows me to grow. I grow through all that. Don't you grow through change? I mean, for most of us, we like to beat our head into the wall and reject change at all costs. But if you allow change and look at it and shift your perception to a different idea and say, well, change is new beginnings. That's a great thing. I'm going to learn something new. There's a new idea that's coming into my life. There's new experiences. There's new lessons. I'm going to gain new friendships. And if I'm single, hey, there's a possibility that when an old relationship dies out, that I might go into another one, maybe one more fitting for me. Or even with friends, if old friends walk away, then I have opportunity for growth with new friends. And that's amazing. To me, I'm like, whoa, I was like, that's a win-win situation for all. The paths keep coming and going and keep meeting up, and what a great experience that is. Because what does growth do for us? What is the point of growth? What does growth do for us? It teaches us Growth allows us to learn. It allows us to mature as souls. It allows us to be who we are and grow from our experiences. When a new idea comes in, it teaches us about who we are. It teaches us about situations. It teaches us about chaos or an emotion or whatever. Whatever the situation is, it changes us and it teaches us and it allows us to mature as souls. I want you to take a moment and think about something really quick, because it's you have to think about this. You have to be able to. I mean, what if we all stayed the same? What if all of us stayed the exact same? I mean, to me, that sounds so boring, right? I don't know. I look at it and say, wow, if I stayed the same, my life would never go anywhere. I mean, I would do the same things over and over and over. My life would never evolve. I would never evolve. My friends would never evolve. I would never live anyplace else. I would never have children. I mean, life couldn't go on if change was stoppable, right? Because I mean, that would mean once you were born that you nothing would ever change. That means you'd probably still be all infants. And how silly does that sound? But yet the fear of change controls us. I mean, it just it takes control. And to me, I never want to stay the same. I love meeting new people. I love new experiences. And even, like I said, even if this TV show doesn't work out, even if the interview thing doesn't happen, hey, I got to meet some really awesome people. I got to talk to and share some energy and create a concept that, hey, maybe it's not right now. Maybe it's down further in the down further, whatever. But the experience of it has taught me. The experience of it allowed me to share energy with other people. And hey, that's change in itself, right? If we'd stay the same, like I said, we'd have the same friends. We'd have the same experiences, the same relationship, the same job. I mean, imagine that. Imagine you having the same friends as you do in high school, grade school, or kindergarten. You would have the same friends, because once you meet somebody, once you become friends, you never change out. I don't know. That's pretty boring. I mean, I love my long-term friends. Don't get me wrong. I really do love the people I've grown up with, but I love the people I meet now and the people I'm with now, and that's amazing. I mean, I would still be dating the first person I ever dated in the beginning. I would still be working for my father and my mom at the HVAC company. I would not even be doing this show. This show would not be happening if change wasn't there. Why? Because I would have never grown. I would have never understood about me being a master guide. I would never understood who I was. I would never have experienced anything to bring me to this point, to let me help the world, to let me help you guys. And so, to me, change is amazing. If you had to think about your life, think about your life right now. Just take a moment. If you had no change, if your life had no change, I would want you to wipe out your husband or wife, your children, your current job, and everything you have, the house you live in and everything, because it wouldn't exist anymore. Everything that you do, all the new sports, like I play in sports, and at one time I'm very dedicated. I love my teams and stuff, but I also don't hold attachments. So when time comes that I need to move on to another team, I will do so, because I take things as it is, and then when that time comes, I go. Otherwise, I would still be stuck in, I don't know, playing t-ball or baseball with the guys and them giving me crap all the time. But think about all the things that we have that would not change. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsor.
With so many fads and gimmicks in today's world, it's crucial to understand the choices we make regarding what we ingest and apply to our bodies. KM Botanicals custom fusion herbal products help make those choices simple and smart. They use only the purest sourced ingredients that produce high-quality products your body will love. Their specialized custom blends are scientifically formulated to establish and maintain a healthy, radiant external as well as internal domain. KM Botanicals custom formulas are clinically developed by a licensed esthetician to suit your individual needs. Relish in the full line of therapeutic grade essential oils. Or get creative and combine their high quality raw ingredients to create your own blends. With custom blends, KM Botanicals prides themselves on the promise that your products will be formulated and tailored just for you. Simply visit kmbotanicals.com to download your personal questionnaire and get started. That's kmbotanicals.com or call 954-281-5613 for more info. Give your body the healthy look it's been craving with KM Botanicals.
So have you thought about it? Did you take that minute and 15 seconds and think about what your life would be like without everything? You wouldn't even know me. You wouldn't even know my voice right now because nothing would ever change. You would miss out on so many experiences, so many joys, I can't say it any other way. You'd miss out on so many experiences. So much happiness, so much, yes, and I know a lot of us don't like when the anger comes in or the hurt comes in or whatever, but those experiences are meant to help us. Those experiences are meant to teach us, and that is all part of change. That is all part of learning. And the reason why that happens is so we can not experience again, because the more pain, I always say pain is our greatest teacher. Pain is absolutely our greatest teacher because it allows us to learn the most hardcore lessons. That's one of the reasons why the program that we do here is so effective with everything, is because we reevaluate that. We learn. We teach you. Even one of my students today said, you know, Miss Raina, I was so proud of this student because this student came in with a couple papers and pages and just wrote out everything, and for the first time I saw a change in this person. I saw that they finally got the concepts, that they were understanding awareness, that they were understanding honesty, that they were understanding truth, that they finally started to change and grow and learn and experience and not be the victim anymore, not be like, oh, this happened to me, oh, poor me, but actually they didn't want to miss out on the experience. And because they started to value themselves, they saw so much now. They were like, you know what? And the first thing I asked them, I was like, okay, well, now that you're understanding this, are you ready for this, and this, if this happens? And you know what they did? They looked at me straight in the eyes and they said, yes, I am ready for it. And I saw in their eyes there was no fear, there was no anger, there was no shame, there was no doubt. It was just, I'm ready for everything because I have value, because no longer do we fear change. Fear, but it's silly, right? So many of us think that it shouldn't happen, but we do, right? So many of us would actually think that change is a bad thing, right? Change is something that should not happen. So let's talk about what really goes on with fear. With change. And that's what I'm going to bring on. See, there's my dyslexia. We're going to talk about fear next. Yes. And I guess I was saying my thought before my mouth said it before my brain even caught up. But yes, the first thing we are going to talk about today is fear, because that's what we do. Anyone who hates change, any one of you who absolutely hate change, lives in fear. You are unsure that in life, things are going to be okay. What is tomorrow going to bring? I don't know what it's going to bring. I don't know if this relationship's going to last. I don't know if this job's going to last. I don't know if this is going to work out. I don't know, and I don't know. And wow, is that tiring? I'm tired just saying that just right now. I really am. Just like, I'm drained. Like, I was like that. For me, just to express that type of energy is tiring to me. It's exhausting to me. And so I look at it and I say, when are you going to not live your life like that? When are you going to choose no longer to be unsure about life? Because you know what? It is true. You don't know what's going to happen in life. You don't. I don't even know. Hey, I drove my car. I went to go get raisins at BJ's with my dog. And the next thing I know, I'm in the hospital, okay, for 2 days. And hey, that happens, right? Life happens. You don't know. But you handle the situations for what it is. It changed on me. Life changed on me like that. And and I went with it. I didn't fight it. I didn't freak out. Okay, well, before I freak out and say, okay, well, it could be cancer, it could be a heart attack, it could be stroke, it could be liver enzymes, it could be cirrhosis, even though I don't do stuff to cause it. Who knows? The body acts weird. Let's see what the tests are. So me and one of my wonderful friends sat there. I sat there for most of it, but she sat there with me for like a good 6 hours, all the way till like 11 o'clock at night, and then went and got me food and came back. So, but we sat there and I said, you know what? Before I react to change, if there is change, I don't know what's going on. I'm unsure, but I'm going to trust in the tests first. I know tests aren't always accurate in Western medicine, which is why I go to Eastern medicine. But at least, you know, what they're capable of, it'll tell me right away if there's A, B, C, or D. And then I go from there. So instead of going all crazy and saying, well, oh, what if I have cancer? What if I have a stroke? What am I going to do? Oh, my life is over. I'm only 39 and I'm not supposed to have this stuff. Look at all the chaos I could have created because I was unsure, because I lived in fear. Our new experiences, or any new experience, you know, you think about it all the time. Well, is this going to be a good experience? Is this going to be a bad experience? Is this going to be positive? Is this going to be negative? And you know what I'm going to say to you. Oh, there's Miss Raina's no words. No, nope, 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 nope. There's Miss Raina's no words. You are judging. You will always create fear and anger. I'll repeat this. You will always create fear and anger whenever you use Miss Raina's no words. All the time, every single time. And the moment you dislike something, you are living in fear. And why? Because you're judging something. Well, you know, I had this one good experience, and then I didn't. So guess what? You got hurt. And a lot of times our fear of change comes from being hurt. You don't want to get hurt again, do you? It hurts to get hurt, doesn't it? It really does. And I'm sympathizing with you. I really do. I really sympathize with you all the time. I really do, because I know what it feels like to be hurt. I know what it feels like, you know, to not trust, to be unsure, because most people who struggle have been hurt so deeply. And that's really sometimes what it boils down to. I have been hurt so deeply. I've trusted, or you've trusted, right? You've trusted. You opened up to somebody. You gave him your heart. You put your heart and soul into this energy, to the schoolwork, or to a person, or to the relationship. And they turned around and burned you, didn't they? They slammed it in your face. They took your heart and they slammed it down to the ground, and they smashed it, and they said, that's it. And you were left. And this new change of experience, you know, or maybe you were with somebody, you gave your loyalty to a company, you know, and I've known many people hate working for jobs that are unsure, because, hey, I know people that it's one of the reasons why I became an entrepreneur, because I have worked for companies myself that I've given my heart and sweat and everything, and they turn around and say, see you later, bye. And no reason at all. And in Florida, it is law that they don't have to give you any reason. If you have a hair out of place and they don't like you that day, they could fire you. And there's no lawsuits down here with that. And that's a scary thing, because, hey, I need my job in order for me to have support. I need my job in order for me to pay my bills. And so I need security. I need this. And if I'm unsure of things, if I don't know whether this new experience is going to be good or bad, and if I'm going to get a chance of getting hurt again, why would I want change? Why would I want the possibility of change? Why would I want this to come into my life? And I'm going to tell you, you have to let go of that fear. You have to let go of it. You do. You have to find some way, shape, or form to say, you know, because your mind says all the time, well, the last time change happened, and this goes off in the ego all the time. You know, hey, Miss Raina, the last time change happened, this happened. Right? And you know, I'm going to stay where I'm safe. How many of you say that? How many of you constantly or recently have said, the last time changes happened, this has happened. But da 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 da. And that's true, right? Because we have been hurt, because we weren't unsure, and because we were unsure, we made judgments. And you must take credit for yourself here. When you are insecure about something, when you are unsure, when you work through emotions, when fear and anger and run your mind, you will make judgments about things that aren't necessarily true or not necessarily correct. Okay, you will make judgments out of fear. You will make judgments out of reaction. You won't think clearly, and you might overlook something. You might overlook the red flags. How many of us, and I know a lot of you are going to agree with me right now, especially, how many of us have really fallen in love with somebody, right? And they were so awesome, and it was just so amazing the first couple months or whatever. And then all of a sudden, out of the clear blue, this person turns into somebody you're not, or you don't like, and you're like, why are they doing all this? What is going on? They weren't like this before. Oh yes, they were. But it was because of our fear of change, because we created an idea, because we were unsure. We saw something, we created an idea about somebody or something that we wanted to have due to our fear of not change, due to our fear of wanting to be hurt again. So we created an ideal about a person. We created an ideal about a job. We created an ideal about a situation, and we made it to what would make us happy. We made it to what would give us peace, instead of seeing the red flags or seeing what it is that's truly out there. What our subconscious, in our subconscious, safety is our concern. Our subconscious wants our safety. And for some of you that don't like change, for some of you that are afraid to do things, I have two friends that I can name right off the top of my bat, or right off the top of the bat, not my bat, but the bat, that don't like to do anything. They don't. And why? Because I can see it in their eyes. They never admit it to me, but they just don't like change. Why? Because what if something happens? Like I go skydiving. Well, yeah, you know what? It is a possibility. There is a worse possibility of driving the car that something could happen than when something doesn't, that if I jump out of a plane that the parachute won't open. You have more of a chance of getting killed and driving in a car than you do jumping out of a plane. But because we're unsure, because safety is a concern and we don't understand it, we're unsure of the new experience and how it's going to be, if the experience is going to be good or bad, if it's going to cause us pain or not. Safety is our concern, and we got to make sure we're safe. We got to make sure that everything stays together. We got to make sure that everything stays smooth and keeps rolling, right? So I had a student the other day that, actually last week, and we were talking about this, and one of the things that they're dealing with, and I know you moms and parents, especially your moms are a little bit more sensitive to this, but, our loved ones are our concern, right? How many of us hate to watch our children go away to school or go away to, or anybody, or even if our husband or wife goes away on a trip or goes away someplace for a couple of months, we hate, especially if they're going to leave us for a while. It's especially with our children, it's really tough. And I don't have children, but I watch and I experience through other people what they go through. And, and I don't know the experience personally, because like I said, I don't have children, but I can empathize. And I watch the pain and suffering they go through. Like, they're leaving me. My children are leaving me. And my mom even did this to me. When I left for school the first time, she cried and cried. But when I left for good, because she always knew I would come back to Chicago, but when I left to leave for good, to move to New England after I bounced around for a little while, she cried, and my dad said, don't ever say this, and I'm sorry, Mom, if you actually hear this, but my dad actually said, your mother cried for 2 weeks. She missed you so much that every single time, it's even bringing tears to my eyes now, that she just cried because the thought of change, the thought of not having, your children around, the thought of not having those people that you cherish around is painful. And it's tough, and that's on a physical level, physical and emotional level. Our children leaving home, someone going to the army, someone doing something, and the thought of never coming back. And what are we giving up? what are we giving up is what goes on in that time. Once the fear kind of kicks in, and it really gets us going for a little while, our next step in the thought process is, what are we going to give up? What are we losing? Because change equals loss, right? What is it that we're losing? And oh, that's tough to look at. If we're looking at life as wins and losses, or gains and losses, and we think that every time change comes that we're losing something and we're never gaining, then our perception is kind of dark. And we must learn to change our perceptions. We must learn to nourish our perception. We must learn to see things and say, well, I need to look at change and say, yes, it is a possibility that I might lose a loved one temporarily. It is a possibility that I might lose a friend or a relationship permanently. But, and it is a possibility that I might do without for a short time. But as long as I continue to focus on what I am without, and as long as I continue to focus on the loss, then I'm never going to see what I'm gaining. I'm never going to see the next door open. And this is why I talk about attachments all the time. Yep, I'm coming back to attachments, to those of you who watch the show. Yep, and we circle right back around to the word attachment, because we become attached to the idea. We become attached to a current situation. Right? Our children have been with us for 17 years. I love my children. For some reason, in our mind, even though we know that one day our children are going to fly the coop, we really believe, we try to trick ourselves into thinking that they're going to be here forever. Even though we think that the person we're with, we're going to love forever, because till death do us part, or whatever we believe in. We always think of I know us women think of the white picket fence. Men, I don't know. I don't know what you think sometimes. But even if you fantasize, well, this girl is finally the one, and I finally met the right wife, and all, and then all of a sudden it fizzles out, and so when we shift our perception from without and see that everybody is here for a purpose, everybody comes in, because what does our attachments do? Tell me what my attachments are. I know you can't tell me physically, but what do our attachments do? When we have an attachment to an idea, hey, I can do without, I need this, I need to do this, and to a current situation, oh no, I got to have this job because of this. Then our attachments bring us what? Most of our attachments give us what? If we're lacking three things, right? We're lacking value, we're lacking purpose, and we're lacking security. And so when we attach ourselves to an idea, to a person, to a thought, to a situation, we are creating an idea of value, we are creating an idea of purpose, and we are creating an idea of security, but it is a false sense of security. We'll be right back after these messages from the Life of Raina. Our attachments always bring us a false sense of value. It does, right? Because if I have something, and this is not something I haven't said before, If I have something, it brings me value. If I have this, if I have these people, it brings me purpose. This is why so many of us fear change, because hey, it's taken away my value. It's taken away my purpose. It's taken away my security. If I'm surrounded by many friends, if I have many friends, if I have many family members, if I have people that are around me telling me stuff and cherishing me and doing all this stuff, then I'm loved and I'm appreciated. But if all that stuff is removed, if all that stuff is taken away from me, then no one loves me, right? If my children aren't there, who's going to be around to give me company, to to pass the time away, to share experiences? If I lose my husband or my wife, if I don't have the job anymore, all of this, hey, if I have a great job and I live comfortable and I be able to pay the bills, then then I'm important, right? How many of us? I live in Florida, and I gotta tell you, everyone, or mostly everyone down here, and I shouldn't say everyone, but mostly everyone down here is all about the success. It's all about money. It's all about status here, and the bigger the job they have, the more money the job that they have, the more comfortable they are. The more they feel value, the more they have purpose, the more they have security. And when they lose it, hey, if I lose it, I gotta struggle. I know the people that are around are no longer. If I don't have the money, I have to struggle. I'm not as important as somebody do. And we value people. That's why famous people have such control over people with no value. If people that idolize famous people as gods or whatever, or just think that because they're famous and they're always thinking, wow, man, they just got the best life because they're a sports athlete and they're just something special because they have all this, and that is telling you that you yourself value their status based on riches, based on money, based on their popularity, and you know what, that can never give you value. And change creates that. Change will create status for you. Change relates to status, because why? Because when change happens, if our status changes, right? If our status changes, then our values change, and that this is why it is so important for you to develop value for yourself, to develop purpose for yourself. This is why I tell you to develop security for yourself, because if change can take away your value, purpose, and security, then you're always going to be insecure. You're always going to have chaos in your life. You're always going to view your life as positive or negative or backwards or forwards or better or worse or with or without, based on your status, based on what you have, and those relationships will fall. You ever hear the story of the three little pigs, right? The first one builds a house out of straw and the wolf blows it down. The second one builds out of something else like sticks or whatever. The house blows it down. The next one builds it out of bricks and all sorts of stuff, because they're knowledgeable, they know what they're doing, they're educated, and all of a sudden the wolf can't blow it down, right? It's the same thing. When you don't have the security, when your value is based on illusion, when your value is based on what you have, it's made out of straw, it's made out of sticks, it's not real, it's not secure, it's not going to hold together. And so when some change comes down, or someone with an objective, when someone who's trying to get something from you comes down and comes after you, guess what your house is going to do? It's going to crumble. And God, does it crumble, doesn't it? I know a lot of you probably are relating to this, because even in this lifetime, I've had that happen. I've had ideas where I thought, because of our conditioning through our social, I have had, these ideas of that my value was here, and my value was here, my purpose was here, and I was rejecting who I was because I didn't want it, so I tried to create this stuff. And every time someone came down, man, my house fell down. It was like, bam, and I was like, what's going on? I'm like, what's going on here? I was like, I don't get it. And Lori looked at me, Rana looked at me, and was just like, you're going to learn one day that you must have self-value. Actually, the thing that they mostly said to me, they would say that too, but the thing that they mostly said to me was self-reliance. And they would show me the word in my head, and to this day, it just drives me nuts still, because I used to hate that word with a passion. Whenever I wanted an answer, whenever change was happening, whenever something chaotic was coming out, I was trying to learn who I was, and the word self, and I would ask them for answers, and all they would tell me was self-reliance. I would blow up sometimes. I would go crazy and just be like, and I would totally get, yeah, Miss Raina used to have a temper once in a while. I can explode if my hormones go off, but oh man, and it was all because I had value due to my status. I had value due to what I had, who I had. And so when change came about and took this away, I didn't have it anymore. When people rejected me for who I was, when I finally came out and said, well, I'm gender fluid, I'm bisexual, I want to do this, I want to do this, I'm actual spirit guide, this and that, let me show you what my gifts are with my healing and my psych. A lot of people rejected that. A lot of people still to this day I rejected that, and that happens. But I had to learn that change, it was to teach me. If I didn't have that change to teach me, to build my value, to build my purpose, to build my security, I would have never had it. And so I tell you that building relationships with yourself, which is where we got to start, takes time. You must understand, you must learn to recognize that change is inevitable. Change is here to stay. It's wonderful, it's great, and you got to do that, but you need to build a relationship with yourself. Yes, again, it's going to take time. It's going to take effort. You're going to have a conscious effort of building a relationship, a true relationship, not one of value based on how many friends you have, how skinny you are, how much money you make, how many cars you have, what your purpose is, what you believe in, what God or goddess or religion you believe in. That does not build relationships. That builds the insecurity. That builds the illusions of value. That builds the illusions of purpose. And the only person that can give you purpose is yourself. So you have to experience people. You have to be able to experience. And you have to know that your experiences are through sharing energy and through sharing time. Allow yourself to share time. Allow yourself to share energy with others. And understand that, that it's meant to be right now. These are things that are meant to be. Now, one of the things that I used to bother me, well, when I was younger, I used to hear all the time, and it used to bother me sometimes because I'd think, why would you say that? But now I understand it. But one of the things that used to bother me was when people would say, well, why bother? It's not going to last. Why bother trying? Why bother doing this? That's not going to last. Everything comes to an end. Well, yeah, everything does come to an end if you really want to do that. But this is a cop-out. That's fear. That's insecurity. They'd rather not try and do anything and ensure that their life changes minimally at most, because they are so afraid of who they are and what change could bring about. And it would put responsibility on them, right? Because you got to take responsibility for your life. Do I not say that all the time about life? That it's always about responsibility, right? You have to be able to take responsibility. So when change comes, it is up to you to build relationships. It's up to you to find value in yourself without those people, without those ideas. It's up to you to build purpose and security. These are your responsibilities. So that's an immature way to think about life, of saying, well, who cares? Life is only, who cares? And it's very immature, and it tells me that the person is so scared. So start to believe in yourself, starts to change, and remember that you're going to have many, many teachers, throughout your life. People are always going to come and go. People are always going to pass on lessons. Right now, in these moments, right now, you're tuning into the show because I am teaching you lessons. I'm helping you learn so that when change happens, that you can go on and take the lessons that you have learned through me and other people and apply them to your life so that your experiences, if you want to live in that no world, but it'll always cause chaos, but so you have those happy experiences, so you have those moments of joy, so you have those experiences that create wonder and everything like that. And again, but if you continue to base value on good, bad, right, wrong, and other people, you're going to find change to be very difficult. You're always going to find fear. And so allow yourself to learn. Enjoy being a student. I don't know how many times I have to tell my students and other people all the time, even my protege, I have to sit there and say, I have to, you have to enjoy being a student. Be a student first. Learn, enjoy learning. Don't worry about being the healer and whatever you guys want to call yourselves, and the psychic and all that stuff. Don't worry about being those people yet. And you have a lot to go through, and a lot of times being healers and psychics and stuff, we create hell. When one of the ladies asked me the other day, why I got into what I got into, and originally, and I told her the truth. I go, well, from a very young age, I always had a deep urge to help people. And then when I really sat down to it, and I did, and I thought about why I wanted to help people, is because and this was through a long process, and I told her this, I go, and then when I got older, I really examined why I really wanted to help people. And I noticed that most people want to help people because they're in pain, because they're suffering, and they can relate to seeing that pain. So when someone gets their heart broken, they can relate to it. They want to go and fix them right away. Why? Because they don't want to feel the pain. They don't want to look at the pain. They don't want to see that person in pain anymore because it's discomfortable for them. And so you have to learn to, and that tells you, if those are your drives, if those are your motives, and you're just trying to fake it till you make it, and then that tells you haven't learned being a student yet. That tells you that you're still afraid of change. You're trying to dress up your life. You're trying to make your life look pretty, even though there's all this chaos underneath. And eventually, the big bad wolf is going to come knocking and blowing down your house, because the house is built on stones or sticks and twigs. And so allow people to pass through your life, allow people to come in and out of your life, and remember to build. It's important to build those relationships with other people, but mostly with yourself, because you have to remember that you're here for you. Yes, you're here to help other people. You're here to do stuff, but you're mostly here for you. And I really, really want you to understand that your life is for you. Our memories hold a special essence, don't they? I mean, when we think about things, when we think about change, I mean, for some of us, why we hold on to the ideas of things is because we had it good back in the day. It was nice being a kid, right? Oh, man, we had it so easy. We didn't know how good we had it. And, man, we had the world at our fingertips, and now it didn't turn out to be the way it was supposed to be. And wow, it was just, it's just not the same. So our memories seem to hold this special essence. It's very powerful, our energy, our memories. And depending on our outlook, is either our memories are going to inspire us or hurt us. And that is very dangerous in itself, because our memories are not meant to hurt us. Yes, memories are meant to inspire us, but when we, depending on how we have our outlook, is depending on which way it's going to go. Often those of us with low self-esteem, those with low self-worth, those with that are depressed or suffer with depression, often focus on the past as happy. Oh, they focus on, oh man, wow, those past memories were really happy. Oh man, my life was really great. Life sucks now. Back in the day, I was skinny. I did this, and I was adventurous. I did all this, and now my life doesn't do that. It's what I used to have, and we have to learn that. Hey, you chose that. You chose to stop due to the conditioning of whatever. Maybe you're conditioned that, hey, as you get older, you're not supposed to have fun anymore. You're supposed to take responsibility. You're not supposed to you're not supposed to have you're supposed to do your job, and you're supposed to take care of kids and do all this stuff, and you can't go out doing the things you want to anymore. Maybe you were fooled into thinking that. And why? You can still do that. You have to take responsibility for your life, take care of your bills, your house, and everything. But it's this is the type of so when you have low self-esteem, low self-worth, and you're on the edge of depression a lot, these are the type of things that you're gonna focus on. When you have no self-value, you're gonna focus on who hurt you, who wronged me, who really, all the past people, all the boyfriends, all the girlfriends, all the people I've ran into, all the friends that have betrayed me, all the friends that have really messed me up, and those that base their value on what's going on now, like who I have in my life and what I have in my life. I have current, hold on to the current memories. They fear to lose. They look at loss. If I lose what I have right now, then I have no value. I have no love. And remember, memories were meant to teach us. They were meant to remind us of our actions, to allow us to experience and grow. They allow us to experience our past through knowledge and understanding. Most people that don't like change don't enjoy life. They don't. It's one of the things that I've noticed talking to people through my experience, that a lot of times, they may have things that they like to do, and they may have moments, but when you ask them, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, are you happy? They'd say, maybe about a 5, 6. Well, my children bring me joy. And that's really all they say. And why? Is because how can you enjoy life if it's constantly changing? How can you enjoy life if you're constantly living in fear? And you become control freaks. You try to control everything and anything, and you absolutely hate surprises. This is one of the things that I've noticed, is that they try to control everything, because change is like standing on a boat that's rocking all the time, that just doesn't allow yourself to breathe. And so they must know everything. They must have everything planned. Everything must go smoothly, and there must be nothing that's unexpected. And the harder they grasp, the more chaotic life gets. But people, change is inevitable. You must learn to accept it. See it as fun. See it as exciting. See it as gaining something. Hey, look at all the stuff you're gaining. I always say to my life, wow, change is here. What new people am I going to gain? What new experiences am I going to have in my life? What new lessons am I going to learn? Exciting, right? How can that not be exciting? I'm going to gain all this stuff instead of focusing on what I don't have or what I might be losing. No, I cherish what I have and who I have in my moment right now. And because I do not hold attachments to any idea, any person or whatever, when our paths decide to split, or when I split from something, hey, I allow it to leave. Why? Because it may come back, it may not, but I lived in the now, I cherished, I took it, I learned, I grew, I experienced, I became smarter, I became stronger. Don't worry about tomorrow, people. Stop worrying about tomorrow, because as you know, it may not be here. Live in the now. Learn to love in the now. Cherish people in the now. And when life decides to part ways, be grateful for the people that enriched your lives, that have shared the experiences. But do not take on the responsibility of others. And as every season turns, there's always a time for change. All right, everybody, that is tonight's show. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me get my little chart out here, my little thing with all my information. But I had a really good show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I can't wait for you guys to write in. So if you want to follow us, you can follow us on our Facebook at facebook.com/Transcendental Transformation Radio Show. Follow us and like us on our YouTube channel, people. Get those YouTube channel likes up at youtube.com/Transcendental Transformation Radio Show. That's all one word again. You can follow me personally on my Facebook at facebook.com/The Life of Raina. Visit our website, soulandspiritguide.com, and sign up for our newsletters, people. you can receive access to VIP access to hidden shows and to special to offers from our special guests that we have from time to time, and usually they're quite lucrative. So make sure you sign up on there too. Or and I hope that you guys start calling in, because I really want some live interaction with you. But I still do enjoy all the write-ins. I mean, I wish people would understand how many people write in, but we just can't get you guys to call in. But continue to write us in at thelifeofraina@icloud.com. Again, remember to always believe in yourself, and it's not our abilities or our talents that make us who we are, but it is always our choices. Thank you, and have a good night. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to re-edit this video so you can hear the commercials and everything. So by the time you hear this video, you're gonna think, "Oh, I heard the commercials already." But no, I gotta take down the video and that. But thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been a wonderful show tonight. I really enjoy you guys for joining us, and hopefully we will have a show next week. Like I said, I've been really tired ever since being in the hospital. And I've been really kind of taking care of myself, resting and everything, just in case it might just be that I was overworked and stuff, and I needed to slow down. There might be something actually, but so we're going to take it one day at a time. I'm going to try to get more shows out to you, because I really love doing this show, and I want to get them more consistently. They've been kind of bi-weekly lately, and I don't like that. But again, please like our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it. If you want to donate to the show, remember, I'm doing all this for free out of my own pocket. And, if you want this show to grow bigger and have more experiences and be able to reach more people, I'd really love your donations too. So have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week, hopefully. Take care. Bye-bye.